Good afternoon. Matt Haywood here from Lichfield Storytellers, and by comparison to my other two stories, this one is going to be told to you in the confines of my home, Jackanory style. So my story begins with a man wandering along the golden sands of the coast, with the sea lapping at his feet. And on that early morning, the man felt like he was the only man on earth as he wandered along that beautiful and calming landscape. Now, he was about half an hour into his walk when suddenly he reached a part of the beach where he began to see one and then two and then three beautiful pinky orangey starfish that had been washed up on the sand. And the man looked at those starfish and he was filled with a sadness because he knew that those starfish had been beached and they would soon perish without the water to sustain their life. And as he walked, the starfish got more numerous. The tens turned into hundreds, and eventually, as far as the eye could see, the beach was speckled with these soon to demise starfish. And as he wandered, feeling very helpless, the man suddenly noticed in the far distance, where the sun made the ground shimmer with a blackness and a silverness, he suddenly became aware of a tiny dot, which he knew was the figure of another person. And as he got closer to that person, he began to notice that this little dot was moving up and down the beach, to the beach, to the shoreline, to the beach, to the shoreline. And as he got closer still, he suddenly realised that this figure was going up to the beach and bending down, seemed to be picking something up and then going to the shoreline, bending down into the wash and into the waves, and then repeating this process. And as he got even closer, he suddenly really recognised that this was a little boy. And the little boy was going onto the beach, he was picking up a starfish, and he was taking the starfish down to the wash, and he was placing the starfish into the waves, and he'd go back and he'd repeat the process. And then the time it took the man to get there, he maybe seen the boy do this 15, 16 times. And so eventually the old man reached the young boy close enough to be able to speak to him. He said, "Young lad, what are you doing?" And the young lad looked up, looked around, checked that it was him he was being spoken to, and shrugged his shoulders and said, "I'm putting the starfish back in the sea," as if it was the most stupid question that the young boy had ever been asked. And again, the man looked at him and said, "You're putting the starfish back in the sea. Look around you, young boy. There are tens of thousands of starfish here. You can't possibly make a difference." And the young boy looked at the starfish he held in his hands, and he looked up at the man. And slowly he turned and he walked down to the wash until the sea lapped against his shins, and he gently bent down into the water and he opened his hands to allow the starfish to swim away. And he went back to the man, dusting off his hands, and he looked the man square in the eye and he said, "Well, I made a difference to that one." And that's the story of the little boy and the starfish. And can I just say, everybody, in these quite unique times, quite uniquely difficult times, don't underestimate what a little act of kindness might do. See you down the road.